Before we begin, obviously, a spoiler warning. This video is exclusively going to talk about what happens in the tutorial world and the first world, and you're only going to see gameplay from there. And it's impossible that I spoil things because I've only played up until those points. So if I somehow say something that I shouldn't know, then it's pure prediction. But I don't even actively predict in this video. You should be safe. I'm not gonna spoil who's the end boss because I don't even know, okay? Okay, so cool. I've now had the opportunity to play Donkey Kong Bananza for the first 1.5 hours. In those roughly 1.5 hours, I was able to beat the first world and the tutorial-ish, so I think it's time for my first thoughts. Impression-wise, this is off to a strong start because the trailers were usually very underwhelming, and so the expectations weren't super high going into this game. Of course, it's the first 3D Donkey Kong since more than 20 years, I think even more than 25 at this point, so expectations were high for hardcore fans, but after seeing the trailer, I myself didn't really expect that much from the game. Luckily, I can say I've been positively surprised. Up until now, it's not only been very fun, it also had a surprising amount of content, things to do. My fear when looking back at the trailers and the treehouse demonstration was mostly that it's a Wario game. It's kind of like you just smash stuff and you break things, and that's more like Wario's thing, breaking stuff and collecting coins or gold. That's not really Donkey Kong's thing. It's a bit too bland for Donkey Kong. But after like playing it for the first time, I get why Donkey Kong was chosen for this game. Obviously, this game improves on a lot of things, and the improvements kind of stem from it being the same team that did the last banger that we had in 3D on the Switch. This is the Super Mario Odyssey team, or at least part of it. I believe it's the youngsters that developed this one. And just a quick theory on what the old ones are doing. They're probably working on the next 3D Mario, as Mario's birthday is coming up in September and we haven't heard anything of that guy, and it's a console release from Nintendo, so obviously they have to have a Mario game somewhere in their backhand, because although Mario Kart is really named after him, it's not really a Mario game. Anyways, it improves on a lot of things that the Odyssey team did already execute well, but not as well as could have done. The costumes now are back. There's still clothing stores, and now the clothes actually improve stuff, and just like in the two 3D Zeldas, you can upgrade your clothes. It still uses the same system, as in you have to collect local currency, aka now it's no longer purple coins or whatever kind of coins you have to collect. Back in the kingdoms, it's now fossils. As I understand it, you can only use fossils you got in the current stage to buy things from that stage, so you can't really save up for other stages, but I'm fine with that. Not only can we customize his tie, we can also customize what kind of underwear he's wearing, or like pants, I guess. And it's not really underwear, it's more like pants, but we can improve the pants. We can also give him a special fur color, although I believe that's purely cosmetic because I haven't seen anything change. And of course, we can also equip different things for Pauline. While we're at the characters, I kind of still dislike the redesign of Donkey Kong, I have to say it. Sometimes he looks really good, but sometimes he just looks foolish. It's kind of like the thing that happened to SpongeBob, where he went from looking silly to looking dumb, and DK is not dumb. He might be obsessed with bananas, and he might still be a primate, but he's not dumb. Or not at least that dumb. But besides from DK, I can really say that I like the character designs. The characters I've seen so far, aka the whole company, some of the enemies, Rambi and Cranky Kong, and like obviously the monkeys itself, like the villagers, they all look great. And I do also have to say the Bananza power I got up until now, aka the first one, that also looks really good, and so does obviously Pauline. It's really astonishing how they managed to improve everything, but somehow Donkey Kong looks a tad worse. I know this is a hot topic, and a lot of people like the new design, but also a lot of people dislike the new design. It's kind of like an opinion where a lot of people are split. While on most of the other character designs, most people can say, yeah, that's an improvement. But to get away from characters, let's talk about the world building itself, and also about the minimap for whatever reason. So the world building itself is really good. I think they went a tad bit crazier than in Odyssey and went full into this, okay, you know what, why can't grass be blue or green or purple or whatever, and why can't stone be green? It seems a bit like they wanted to be way more creative and get rid of these earthbound rules that grass has to be green and trees have to be brown on stems and have green leaves. And it makes sense because we're underground and yet still we do somehow have sun, and it's a fantasy game and I like it. I like the stylistic choice of going a bit more wacky. It really fits well. And now to something that is surprisingly the best thing I've ever seen in any game, the minimap. Like, the map you open with minus is one of the best maps I've ever seen. One downside is that it lags a bit from time to time, and by lag I don't mean like that it jitters, I mean that it goes down from 60 to 30 FPS for weird reasons. I don't know, I've not developed this game so I can't really tell you why this happens, but it's a bit annoying. But in general, the map itself is really cool. You have this 3D build and you can really look around, and I hope most games from now on that Nintendo develops kind of utilize this map. Now, the biggest game changer in this game is the voxel terrain, the fact that you can just smash through everything and anything. And the combat's also a bit designed like that, because most of the enemies are skeletons and then they just have some sort of material around them, like concrete or dirt or grass or stone, and you just smash through that. And in general, I like it. I like the world being destroyable. You can dig around, you can find all sorts of things. It's a bit more open, and up until now I've found a lot of treasure chests which actually gave me hints where certain fossils are hidden. And yes, some of them are very, very, very well hidden, but as long as you get hints, I'm fine with that. And now to the most complex thing I've ever laid my hands on, this movement. It's not complex as in that it is so huge and there are so many combinations of moves you can do. No, it's just that it's way more than I'm used to. Most Nintendo games have really good movement, and especially Super Mario Odyssey has a lot of moves, but Donkey Kong Bananza, they have even more moves somehow. Like, I still struggle to somehow manage this movement just because I'm new to this. Like, you can roll, you have known that, and you can punch and ground pound, but you can also punch upwards, and then there's this entire skill tree of which I haven't unlocked like more than 5%, and there's even moves you can buy in there, and then there's combinations of things, and if you go to a Bananza power there's even more moves. So it's just a lot of things, and I think this is really, really important because the worlds are way, way, way more open, and especially since you can destroy them, they had to improve the movement that drastically so that you can't really soft lock yourself. One concern I had at the start of the game for some reason is that what if I dig a hole, am I then stuck? Because I can't go as deep as I want. Like, at some point there has to be a limit, but I mean, I just forgot that this is Donkey Kong. He can just climb his way out. So yeah, I'm still a bit nervous, as in hyped. Yeah, I do have to admit, at the start I was just excited, but now I'm kind of hyped. And to be honest, I just want to end this video because I want to go back to playing. So if you liked it, then you like it, subscribe, write me a comment on your opinions, and until next time.